we are going to be using, well, LLMs and ChatGPT, or if you prefer Google Bard, to develop a website. So we're going to be using them to as a basically a programming pair programmer. As I mentioned, sort of every week, there is the check-in for this week. So if you haven't already done so, fill in the check-in form. I will get Faz to drop a link in the chat as well, but just give everyone maybe just a couple minutes just to fill out the QR code, scan the QR code and fill out the form. So just a minute or two. I'm not going to spend too long. There'll also be a link at the end as well, in case you've missed it here. Yeah, if you can just see, Faz has dropped the link in the chat as well, just in case you've got any issues. Okay, I will move on because there is quite a lot of things to get through this week. Um, so what we're doing today is we are looking to build a website using ChatGPT. So in fact, ChatGPT is so powerful that it can actually build a very basic website for you without you needing much coding expertise. So we're going to be trying to use that today to do that exactly that. And what we're going to be using is a tool called Website Sandbox. So what I'll do is I'll get Fast to paste a link in the chat, but there is also, you'll get linked to this page, hopefully. There should be a sign-on link in the top right corner. Obviously, I've already signed in. There's already, so there's no link for me. But once you sign in, you should get forwarded to this page. So I would like everyone to sort of try and get onto this page first. But this is really good because it allows you to do the website development inside your browser, so you don't need to download any external tools or anything. So I'll give everyone maybe just a couple minutes just to get onto this. If anyone has any issues and can't reach this page, please do let us know in the chat. We'll try and help you out as much as possible, but I'll give everyone the opportunity to get to this page. So codesandbox.io. You can hopefully get a link from Faz in the chat if he drops it, or I will drop one in myself. Yeah, Faz has dropped one in. Yes, but just log in, hit sign in and sign up, and then you should be able to get linked to this page. Give everyone a couple minutes to do that. Any issues, please do let us know, of course. And actually, please just to let me know that we're following along. Um, if you could just drop a message in the chat just when you're on the page, so I can see yeah, Griffin's on there, which is brilliant. So if whenever you've got onto the page, please do let me know, just so I know when people are ready to move on. Yep, Angela, Aaron, great. Yeah, Farida as well, brilliant. You shouldn't need to like do any sort of trial or anything. It should just be a sign in. Or everyone's been blocked by a corporate file. Yeah, unfortunately, maybe you can try and we'll follow along for today, and then maybe try and watch the recording back at home. Um, don't worry about how to create anything for the moment, Fred. We'll get into that just in a second. I just want to make sure everyone's managed to get onto the page and logged in first. Yep, Stacy, Kath as well. Uh, Jeffrey. Okay, I'll just give everyone maybe just a couple more minutes. Just yep, and Stacy, Ryan, follow. Yeah, if I know some people have messaged me saying, yeah, they're blocked by maybe some corporate firewalls or corporate website blocks. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that. The best thing that you can do is just watch the recording back when you're at home and have a go at it then. Griffin, are you supposed to be on the trial page? You should hopefully be on somewhere like this, where you can see you've got three boxes which says start a project, which says either import a repository, create a dev box, or create a sandbox. Yeah, I'll probably just wait one more minute just for anyone else that's having issues or just taking their time. Okay, Mateus, Tony, Alexa. Yeah, I'd wait. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. I think what we'll do is we'll move on. If anyone's having any issues, please let us know in the chat and Faz will be there just in case you need any help. Okay. So once you're on this page, you should see three different options. First should be import repository, create a dev box, or create a sandbox. I want you guys to make sure you select create a dev box, and then it should bring up a window like this, and see if you can find HTML plus CSS. Click on that box, and you can give this website a name of your choice. So it could just be anything. So you could just call it, let's say, example website. So I'll call it that, and then just create a dev box by clicking that link. All you need to do is just give it a name and create a dev box. I've already done this, so I'm not going to because it does take a little bit of time. So I'll just open up the website that I created earlier. Well, hopefully once you do create it, it will give you a website template that looks like this. So, and here you should see that there is two different boxes. One box where it's a coding editor and one box where on the right-hand side where it is the website displayed on your screen. Okay, and we're going to be using this to actually make our website through the use of ChatGPT. Okay. Again, I'll give maybe everyone just a minute just to hopefully load up a web page just in case they haven't done so. So just a quick reminder of how to do this. You should see here there's three different boxes. Click on create a dev box, HTML plus CSS, provide your website with a name here, whatever that may be, then hit create a dev box. And then it should hopefully open up a page like this. Hopefully that's clear, Jeffrey. If there's anything wrong, please let me know. Yeah, Abhilash has got it. Brilliant. Yeah, Jeffrey's got it. Brilliant. Hey, I'll just give it for maybe just 30 more seconds just to load it up. Okay. I will preface, this is not a full website development course, but it will help you at least get an idea on how to make a website through the use of ChatGPT. Yeah, Pierre, okay, no worries. I will repeat it once more. So once you've logged into codesandbox.io, you should see three different boxes here. It will be import repository, create a dev box, create a sandbox. Alternatively, there is also the create button in the top right corner. If you click on that, it will bring up exactly the same boxes. If you click on the middle, which says create a dev box, sorry, and you click on HTML plus CSS, click on that, give your website a name, whatever that may be whatever name you want, and then hit create dev box, which is the yellow button in the bottom right, and it should open up a website for you. Yeah, and Kumar, yeah, there will be a shared recording at the end, yes. If you signed in at the start, you should get a link, emailed link to the recording as well. Yeah, is there a Python class? This not, I don't believe there's a Python class, no, but we'll see. I will see what happens in the later stages. Yeah. So Griffin, if there's no option to give it a name, you might not have signed in. In that case, don't worry about it too much. Just create a dev box straight away. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys didn't sign in, there's actually if you will get prompted to not give it a name, otherwise it will just open up the same like a regular web page straight up. Okay. I think most people have got it. If there's any issues, again, drop a message in the chat and we can sort of help you out with that. Okay. So what we're going to be looking to do is now actually make a website through the use of ChatGPT. So what I'm going to do anyway is going to make a recipe blog website. Feel free to take the information I provide you and make a website of your choice. But a recipe blog is fairly easy and it allows us to do it quite simple. So The first step, what we need to do is we need to go to the code box, code sandbox, and click on the index.html page, and also open up ChatGPT as well. So if I open this page, make sure on the left-hand side, you can see there's loads of different sorts of pages. The one we're concerned with is index.html, so make sure you click on that, and it should look something like this. Don't worry if you've not developed a website before. ChatGPT should be able to cover most of the things we need today. Okay, so what I'm going to do is then open up ChatGPT and give it an instruction. So my instruction is going to be, I want the HTML code. So make sure you type in HTML code for and this could be whatever website theme you'd like, but I'm going to choose a recipe blog website. And if you just type that in, this should be enough you want to need. If you want to give it some more information, let's say like what kind of style you want the website to be in, you can do so, but I'm going to keep it quite simple. So feel free to just do that. And hopefully it should give us some code that looks similar to the code that we had as a starter template, but with additional info. And it has given me this sort of template. Actually, in fact, it's already given me the recipe. Maybe I'll prompt it again, something different. So the prompt you might get can vary different from like generation to generation. So try and see. You might want to like regenerate things, just see what style you get. So you can see here. Hopefully, this is generating. There we go. So yeah, so you can see we've got a recipe image like this. So I will copy this code, or I can hit the copy button and paste that in like so. And hopefully we should see if upon clicking, either if you press Control S or Command S on your keyboard, if you're on a Mac, or you can click this button right here. You should see you can save it, and it should hopefully load up a recipe page like so. So yeah, you can see right here that there is in fact a featured recipe title. So featured recipe, recipe title. The recipe image doesn't actually work yet. And then there's also a brief description of the recipe. And you can see here there's some random filler text. So in fact, what we can do is you might end up getting a generation where it's given you a recipe already, or it might have already, put a recipe in its place. But I will, let's say, add a recipe. Let's say I'm going to add a recipe for spaghetti bolognese, let's say. Maze, and then you can add a description. So I'm not going to do that. So you can see here if I then save it once again. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, we've got the website there. Okay, I'll just recap because I think I've gone a little bit too quickly and you might not be following along. But just as a repeat ChatGPT prompt, I will do. So you can see here, I've got a prompt here which says I want the HTML code for a recipe blog. So I've pasted this in right here into ChatGPT, and from that, it's given me some code right here. All I really need to do now is just copy this code, go to the example website that we had, click on index.html, and just paste it in right here, and click on this button right here, or hit Control S on your keyboard. And hopefully you should see, like me, you will get a website like sort of template right here on the right-hand side. It may not look exactly like mine. It may have depended on what kind of prompt exactly you used. But it should hopefully get something like this. Okay. Is there any question? I know probably have gone a little bit too fast. Is there any issues? Where is the prompt box? So for attention, for a template would what do you mean exactly by prompt box? And which button? So this button's really small. It might not be very clear, but it is right here in the sort of top left corner. It's like a little, it just right here. Okay, I'll repeat this one more time, just a little bit slower this time. So what we've done is hopefully you've gone to the dashboard page where we were before. We've created a dev sandbox like so. So we've created a dev sandbox, renamed it, and that brought us to a new page like so. So I'll repeat this just from the beginning, just for anyone that's sort of having issues or maybe isn't too technical. So created a dev sandbox. I'll create a new one. Go to HTML, CSS, give it a name, create dev box, and it should hopefully load up a page like so. And it should have some code here. The code here is not too important. This will get replaced by whatever ChatGPT says to us. We'll then go over to ChatGPT, and then I'll do a new chat just for the sake of it, and I will add a prompt to make a website. So I want the HTML code. So make sure you write HTML code. So you want the HTML code for let's say a website. So I've created a recipe blog website. This could be whatever website you want. You can replace recipe blog exactly however you want to, but make sure you type in HTML code and website, click on send message, and it should generate something, and it will give you some code like so. And it should hopefully give you some code for the website, which you can hit copy code, come back to here, paste it in here, like so, and then hit this button, which is really small. It might be difficult to find again. Click on that, and hopefully you should see that the website appears as follows on the right-hand side. Might take a little bit of time. Oh, unable to update. So you might have an issue where it says unable to update. Just click on reconnect, and it should hopefully fix itself. Yeah, I know there's quite a few questions. Yeah, so ChatGPT did not. Oh, I'm having some issues with the website. So yeah, so I've got a question where it says, why did ChatGPT not provide an image? So yeah, we'll get into that later. So you will find that it does tell you, it might tell you to add an image, but there might be issues with running image. There's particular issues with running images where you can't get them locally. We'll get onto that a little bit later. So don't worry about running images. So yeah, so I can see if I had an issue with in the top left corner. If you click on that button, it should fix it for you. It would just take some time. They could provide the full URL for that image. Yes, they could, but we'll get into adding images for that later as well. Yeah, I know I've got some other questions, so I will answer them. If anyone wants me to go through it again, please let me do so. Um I might have gone through it quite quickly again, but hopefully do that. So mine isn't creating anything in the right hand box. So Stacey, did you remember to click this button right here? Make sure you click that. Okay. Is there a yellowish greenish button in the top right corner here or top left corner here? If there is, please click on that. Yeah, click on that and it will do some updates, and it should hopefully mean that you get a website blog right here. So make sure you click on that and it should hopefully fix that issue. Yeah, I think Tony's had the exact same issue, yeah, after the update has worked. So brilliant. So you can see some people have actually got some code, which is great. Is there any other questions? I know I might need to scroll down quite a bit if there's any issues. Scroll up a bit. Yeah, so if you've got an issue where it says can't start micro VM or something along those lines, it should be in about green, yellow. If you click on that right here, and it should fix that issue. Okay. I'll just go over ChatGPT once more. So just in case you need to go to ChatGPT, just create a new chat in ChatGPT. Hopefully, if you should be familiar from the last few weeks of sessions. If you aren't, just open up ChatGPT. You should be able to just log in. And you can just click message ChatGPT and just write a prompt which says, I want the HTML code. So HTML code for a website, and you can give it a theme. So it can be anything you want. So let's say this time you want the code for a news website. and it can give you some code for a news website instead. All you need to do then is just once it finishes generating, so give it some time to finish, copy the code, and then go back to the index.html page, paste that code in right there, and then click this box once again. I know it's very small, and it should give you your website on the right-hand side. Yeah, Les, you've signed in. Why does it tell you have not do not have permissions to edit? Can you try refreshing your page maybe? That might help. Yeah, so if you the free trial and index.html is not editable, please make sure you signed in, San, if there's any issues with that. Yeah, make sure you go to codesandbox.io dashboard if there's any issues with that. Okay. We've had some people manage to get things to work. Is there anyone that hasn't got it to work and need me to go over anything again? So Jeremy, you pasted the code. How do you get it to generate the web page? Okay, just as a reminder, there it's a very small button. I will preface that again. It is in this one right here in the top left corner. It is right next to the magnifying glass. It's like a little, almost a square, but it's not really a square. If you just click on that, it should make the web page. If that doesn't work, you may have a button here which says upgrade micro VM. If you click on that, it should hopefully work. Otherwise, if you click the refresh page here or refresh button right here, that should update your web page and you should hopefully see a web page get generated. Okay, is there anyone else having issues? Any further questions about this? I'll give over maybe just a couple minutes, maybe just to fine tune things. But I know we've got some people that have managed to get things done. Yeah, ChatGPT is bad for learning. Why not just learn HTML coding? Yeah, it is. Yeah. So obviously the thing is, obviously this is not going to give you everything you want. It especially if you want to customize small details. Obviously, you would need to learn how to use HTML properly. But for someone that may be trying to start learning, you can hopefully understand how a website works through the code that ChatGPT generates. So you can see here each element in the website right here. As you can see you've got different boxes with different headlines, and you can see exactly within the code that ChatGPT has generated, you can see exactly where it has put it. So you could hopefully understand the start of website. Obviously, this is not a web development course, so we would recommend if you're interested in web development, go and do a web development course. But it's just hoping to give you an idea of what is possible with ChatGPT and how it can help you to code. Yeah, so San, so can't we change the website name URL? So no, unfortunately not, because this is a it's sort of well, it would be hosted locally, but it's hosted on this codesandbox.io website. And that means that you need to and if you wanted to actually change the website name and URL, you would need to either pay for a server host or start up your own website server, either. And I'm not going to get into the technicalities of doing that, but you ideally need to pay for a domain from a website like GoDaddy, for example, and they have loads of different domains. You need to buy a domain and then set that up, but I'm not going to go into doing that. Yeah, is my AI boot capable of doing this as well? I mean, personally, I haven't used it. You might, I mean, feel free to experiment with it and try if it works. But from personal experience, I haven't used it. I have tried Google Bard with this, and it is possible with Google Bard, but I haven't tried my AI boot at all. No. Okay. Okay. Is anyone else having any issues or has any questions? Yeah, for it, yeah. Okay, we're gonna go into any, yeah. Nancy, what do you mean by how to update? Do you mean update the web page or so as I've mentioned, two things. First thing you need to do to update the web page, you click this sort of square icon in the top left corner of your screen. It's very small, and then it should hopefully update it. If it doesn't, click the refresh icon in the right hand side, and that should hopefully update your page if you make any edits. Okay. Okay, brilliant. Yeah, so that's worked. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so I will go back to the original website I had, which was my recipe blog. Again, your website might look a little bit different from mine. It depends on how ChatGPT has decided to generate it. So I'll go back to the one that I had. I think it was this one that I originally had before I did the news website. So I will go through this. And you can see we've got, you may have an image that doesn't work, or you may not have images at all. But if you wanted to add an image, which we will do next, is you can see here the code ChatGPT generated for me that time was we've got image as like img and then these things called tags, which are called HTML tags. And I'll paste this into the chat for everyone, just in case your version of ChatGPT didn't manage to do it. So if your code doesn't actually have this, either what you can do is you could either prompt ChatGPT saying, I want to add an image to this. I want to add an image to this. Can you adjust the code for me? And you can do that, and it will hopefully, in fact, it will tell you to do exactly what I've said, which is you need an img tag or image tag, and it will give you some code that includes an image. So yeah, and you can see it's been added right there. So if you don't have an image, either try and utilize what I've pasted in the chat and add that into your code, or the easier option, if you don't have any technical expertise, just prompt ChatGPT to generate something with an image again, and it will tell you something like this. So image src alt and header image. So copy that code in just for yeah, and then you should hopefully see that on your website you have something like this. And in fact, it will show you something here that doesn't show any image so far, but we will add that in. So just to recap, if hopefully your website has an image. If it doesn't, go to ChatGPT, and what I would recommend is to prompt it again to ask it to add an image and regenerate the code. And hopefully it will give you some new code which has this thing in to make sure it does have that in. If it doesn't for whatever reason, ask it again, or click the regenerate button, which is right here, and it will regenerate some code. Paste that over, and you should see that you add an image in, and it in fact does give you something, but there is actually no image right there. So we'll get onto doing that we'll get onto adding that image next. Anyone managed to get to this point where we've got sort of at least an image sort of icon there, at least? Yeah, Roberto, yeah, the recording will be like emailed to you guys, yes. Yeah, okay. I can see Stacy and Tony have got it, which is fantastic. Yeah, if you don't have your computer on you, but you're on your phone, that's not a problem. We will email the recording to you if you have signed in. Yeah, so I can see Jeffrey, Stacy, and Tony eventually at least gets an image, but see there's no image there at the moment. Okay. So what we'll do is you can see here it says there should be something called src equals, and we need to actually replace this with an actual image. And to do that, we will use a website called Unsplash, and this has royalty-free and non-copyrighted images. So I'll paste this in the chat for everyone. Yeah, I think Paz has already done that. So make sure you can go to that website, and on this website you should see something like this. There should be a search bar right here, and there's of course loads of different images that get suggested. So in our website, we've got some we want to do recipes, let's say. So let's say I just want to search for food, let's say. I can search for food and it's giving me lots of different images of food. Okay. Just to note with this website, you might notice that there's some tags here which says Unsplash Plus, Unsplash Plus. Um, some of these will have Unsplash Plus. Um, just to note, if you use any of these images, they will have watermarks, but anything that doesn't will not have a watermark in your page. So just bear that in mind, just if in case you want to use any of the images. So let's just say I want to use this image right here. So, so what I need to do is first search for the image, and then find the image you want. Just right click on it, click on copy link address right here. So find the image, right click, and then click on copy link address. And then make sure you do that. Go back to your index.html page. If you see an IMG tag, wherever that may be, and then you see src equals, and there should be some quotation marks right here. In between the quotation marks, if you paste the image tag that you just copied, so you can see here just from unsplash.io, I've got this image, and I've pasted that inside the src here right here in between the quotation marks. Make sure there is quotation marks, otherwise this won't work. But yeah, again, do the same thing as we've done before. Just update the page, click on the save button. You might need to hit refresh if there's an issue. And then it's gone back to unable to upgrade to the latest micro VM. So I'll just do that 1 second. So give it a minute for this to load again. And hopefully we should see that the image that we just copied, yep, it's doing its thing again. So the image that we just copied should just appear in our website. Yeah, give it a little bit of time. It's doing the update to the micro VM. Okay, and hopefully, if everything's gone to plan, we should see the image appear. And then might need to refresh the browser. Let's see if this helps. Yeah, this one doesn't doesn't want to work for whatever reason. Yeah, the image may come in quite big. In fact, if it does come in quite big for you, you can actually prompt ChatGPT to say, "I want to make this image smaller," and it will do it for you. I want to then, let's say, I want to make this image smaller. If I do that, and it will tell you the exact code to make your image smaller. So you can see here, it will give you some code which has adjusted the image width here. You don't need to know exactly what it does, but it will tell you exactly like so. If I copy this back in, I'll copy that link again, paste it within the src tag, update this. Oh, I may have copied the image link instead of copy the image address in it. Yeah, that would be my fault. Copy image address. There we go. There we go. That is my fault. Okay, and then refresh the page. There we go. And you can see here we've got the image into our website, like so. Again, you might see that there is issues with the website, and there might be some issues with the way the website's generated. In fact, if you want the image to be pasted in a alternative place, you can prompt ChatGPT to sort of paste the image. Let's say you want it under the headline. Let's say you prompt ChatGPT to paste it under the headline, and you can do that exactly. So I'll paste this back. Yeah. So just for first, I made a mistake. So make sure you didn't copy copy link address, copy image address, and that should fix your issues because that is exactly what happened to me. And then if you refresh this, hopefully, you should see that the image appears like so. Again, your image might look quite big. If you want to resize it, feel free to prompt ChatGPT to resize the image, and it will do exactly that. So can we have steps just outlined for a full-fledged website with a front end and back end code, so native database, etc., all together bundled in the project? I mean, yes, you could do. So all you need to do is tell your prompt into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT should be able to at least give you the framework for it. It might have some imperfections, of course, but ChatGPT will do that. I think with the backend style anyway, um, Code Sandbox might be have well, obviously the Code Sandbox is obviously hosting this locally, so there might be some issues with the backend. I'm not sure exactly how this works, but if you're a developer that sort of knows what they're doing, feel free to sort of use VS Code and create the backend that way, or use some alternative code editor. But I'm not sure how exactly this works with Code Sandbox. But if you have VS Code, yeah, go and use VS Code. Yeah. Okay. Has everyone managed to get their image in? Or if there's any issues, I can obviously go over and repeat things. Yeah, I know Stacy's got it. Brilliant. Um, yeah, Tess has got it. Brilliant. Yeah, Abhilash. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. So again, just quick recap for anyone that doesn't have it. Yeah, please repeat the resizing and where to paste code from ChatGPT. Okay, no worries. Okay, so if you've had an image, I'll go from the top, just add as well as talk about resizing as well. So if obviously you've had your initial code for the website, so let's say I had, let's say the code for the news website, which I did, had this code, and then this didn't give me anywhere that images were added. So what I did was to reprompt the image. So reprompted ChatGPT and said I wanted to add an image to this, and then adjusted the code as follows. So so I've done this, and it's told me exactly so that I needed to add the image tag. So here's an example, and it's giving me some new code, so I shouldn't need to really adjust anything. I could have just copied the code and then added it back in, and it would have added the image tag for me. Then once you found the image tag, you could have found wherever in your code it says image src, found the quotation marks, and then pasted the copy image address link from the Unsplash link that we sort of said earlier, pasted that in your code right here, and added that in. But then let's say you found your images were unsized properly or too big for your page, you can ask ChatGPT to make this image smaller, and hopefully ChatGPT should tell you exactly how to do that. So it says you can adjust the image size by setting the width property in the CSS, the image tag, and it will tell you exactly that how to do that. Again, you can just copy the code in, paste it back in. You might need to replace the image src again. So if you do need to do that, go back to this. Make sure you click copy image address, go back, paste it right in, and it should hopefully adjust your image size to whatever you need it. So yeah, so Henry, every time you prompt GPT on an edit and you copy the code it generates, does it give you the entire web page for the update or just the code for the update? Unfortunately, it may depending on how much information you give it. So what I would recommend is if you want to do an edit, make sure you prompt it to provide the whole code back. I find it quite inconsistent between, you know, when it gives just the updates and the whole code. So what I would recommend is that in fact actually to prompt it to give you the whole code back. So it gives you the whole code. Or if you just want the code for the edit, prompt it to give you the whole code for the edit. As we sort of mentioned, if you think back to a couple of weeks ago, we went over prompting, like giving multiple how to prompt and giving it as much context as possible, just to make sure the information that you get back is whatever you need. Yeah, so Tony said, yeah, so it was best to copy code from Unsplash on the image paper rather than clicking on the image so that it's smaller, but it was great to know how to go back to ChatGPT size. Okay, makes sense. Okay, brilliant. Okay, has anyone got any questions about this? Hopefully you should have had some sort of web page with an image. If you don't, I'm obviously going to open the floor up to any questions because I think we're sort of running out of time. Or if anyone has any other questions about what the capabilities of ChatGPT are in terms of coding and what it can be used for. So yeah, either feel free to unmute yourself or drop a question in the chat. Okay. Yeah, so fast. Congratulations on becoming web developers 45 minutes. Apologies if this seemed quite rushed because there was a lot to get through. Um, but hopefully, if you want to go back and watch the recordings and slow things down, you should be able to just hopefully follow along a little bit better. Yeah. So, okay, so Jeffrey, okay, so could you please provide some ideas on how we could utilize ChatGPT in the workplace to enhance our workflow efficiency, aside from using it to compose emails, specifically in an area of business administration? It depends on, okay, yes, it depends on what you're trying to do with it, but I'll give a more general view over it. So, for example, let's say you've got a important meeting coming up and you need to generate some ideas for, let's say, the structure of your PowerPoints. So you may, in fact, prompt ChatGPT, give it some information of what you want to present, how long, let's say, your presentation is going to be, and let's say you want, let's say, 10 to 15 PowerPoint slides. So you may prompt ChatGPT to ask it to, you know, generate something specific to those, specific to your topics across 10 slides. So you might ask it what theme you want and what structure you want for your PowerPoint presentation, let's say. So that could be an idea. It really depends on your use case and what you're using it for. So if you're looking at spreadsheets, so for example, if you forgot how to use something with Excel, so you can ask ChatGPT, what is the formula to, sum everything in a column in Excel, and it should be able to help you with that. Instead of going through trying to Google and like scanning through loads of different pages, you may try and have a go at that. So yeah, so it really depends on your use case and how you're trying to use it. Jeremy, have you got? You can see you've got a hand up. Have you got a question?
Yeah, so somebody asked about uses. Once you showed us how to use the chat GPT last week, I started using it for writing my Python code.
Yeah,
I was amazed. I mean, I said, oh well, I need to know if this string contains something. So it gave me the
yeah,
code, and I asked it a question. I says, is this returning the index of the first, and so it's interesting to interact with it. And I just think it's a great, from what you've shown, I think it's a great companion. So
yeah,
thank you.
yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, I think that's sort of the main idea. I think it's not necessarily it's used as a companion. It's always going to do what you tell it to do, and sometimes obviously it will get things wrong. And in fact, you can see it does generate some websites, but it doesn't generate, let's say, your next Amazon or your next like NBC News or whatever it may be. So it gives you sort of the framework and some sort of idea, and you can customize it to however you want it to. So it's not necessarily going to, take over and do everything that you take over our jobs necessarily. But people using AI can use it to speed up their workflow and streamline their workflow a lot more. That is, I guess, the main idea that I believe will happen with these sort of AI tools. So yeah, yeah, and hopefully you can see from today what we can actually do with it and how we can use this in let's say coding environments as well. Okay, has anyone got any further questions? Any further questions from anyone? Okay, just quick reminder, I will go back. If there is any questions, feel free to sort of email us at hello with coding with codex. Yeah, there should be a link to check in. So I will go back to the QR code page just in case there's anyone that's missed the check-in. I'll get Faz to sort of paste a link to the chat as well. So if you haven't checked in, please make sure you do. Hopefully, once you do check in, you should get an email with the recording to this session. But aside from that, I don't think there's much else. If anyone's got any, yeah. So Jeffrey, we do have these sessions weekly. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So any further questions? Yeah. So Avalash, so you said you found it's great companion. Last week you used it for prompts shown in class to solve a word problem for my son's school and got the response in very detailed steps. Yes, his son was amazing. Yeah, it is a very powerful tool and it has loads of different capabilities. But yeah. Okay, I think we will round off. Again, if there is any questions, obviously feel free to drop us an email. If for whatever reason you do not get the recording emailed directly to you after you've checked in,